So you don't want to tell me why I had to be embarrassed today because my card declined?
What are you talking about?
Don't play with me, Jamal. Why is there no money in our account?
Oh, babe, the check for my startup must have cleared.
Hey everybody, my name is Trez Gee. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I'm the owner of Trez Gee Productions. And we created the film called deSire.
What's the film about?
deSire centers around relationships. It centers around how a lot of times we have different, outlooks of what we expect from relationships. So I actually play in this particular film as well. And my co-star is Heather Arndt. And we try to capture some of the challenges that people have in relationships because both parties have different perspectives about what they want. And we've tried to put something together to show people and possibly to help people in their own relationships, how to overcome adversity and differences in relationships when they occur. So I also, as I was looking at the film that we shot, I wanted to put a little spin on it because it's mainly dialogue. So, you can score films and add music and different things like that. But I wanted to give it some other type of appeal for the audience. So we put a slight comedic spin on it just to make some parts of it a little funny, give, the audience, even though they're thinking about, hey, I go through this in my own relationship, but still make it kind of comical so it doesn't hit home too hard. So I think people are going to love it.
You had a film in our second Voices Heard competition, A Walk in the Woods.
Correct.
And now you're back with this one. And they were both very different films, very different storylines and all that. Are you looking to do more drama? A Walk in the Woods is more of a thriller, if I'm correct.
Yep, you're right. Definitely. The way that I've approached filmmaking over the last several years, I've tried to try my hand at some of everything. So we've done horror. We're currently doing some comedy stuff. We've done drama. We're setting up to do an action film. So I actually want to do a little bit of all of it to kind of get a gist for what I feel like I'm really good at, and then focus on what I feel like I'm really good at, but yet still take a stab at the others just to improve my filmmaking ability in different genres so that hopefully someday we can create films in multiple areas. I never want all my films to feel the same. I don't want people to see my films and say, oh, we've seen this before. These kind of films come in all the time. Trez Gee is known for this just over and over again. I want to do something different. I want to wow the audience.
And it's just a small delay. We'll be back to normal in no time.
That's beside the point. The point is, I had to spend the last half hour apologizing to my girls because I said I'd pay for breakfast this morning. And because there was no money in the account, they had to end up paying, even though I promised I would. But that was, of course, after the entire restaurant was staring at me and I was holding up the line.
How did this idea come about?
So I had a friend that asked me about the festival and to submit. And then when I was talking with you, I got an idea of the time frame that you were going to be putting this together. And I thought, could I put something together? Because I'm constantly working on stuff. So my time is very limited. But I was thinking, do I have enough time to put something together for this? So I went to my lab. I was looking at my scripts. Most are feature film length, but there were a couple of scripts that I had that were short film. And this one particular that we did for your festival actually was a scene from my previous movie that's about to be on streaming platforms called Under Pressure. It was a scene that we actually never got a chance to shoot. It was to introduce part 2, which we're filming right now. And so as I was looking at it, I said, well, we can't shoot it now because it's not going to make sense. We all look different. It's 10 years later, so I can't fit that in. But it was a great write, and I didn't want to just toss it. And so I was thinking about it. I was like, well, can I shoot this and put together a project for the short film that might be appealing for the viewers? And so I started adding a little bit here and there, moving some things around. And once I figured I finalized it when I was about 8 or 9 pages in, I said, yeah, we'll go with it. So we took a couple weeks, picked some days that worked for my talent and myself, and we got it shot and edited. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think it's going to be quite interesting.
So this project was it in its inception a deleted scene from a feature film that you made that you're now shooting a sequel to?
And now the funny thing is this too, Ross, that the short film that we're shooting for deSire is about 30 minutes long.
Okay.
And so what we submitted for you for the festival is this particular scene from the short film that's probably about 8 minutes long. That came about because of part timing. Okay, we still needed to shoot some of the other scenes, and I didn't want to run past time to get it submitted for the festival because we had some great content that I felt good about. And so I said, well, we'll take this scene, the opening scene of the film, and we'll use that in the festival, but we'll name it differently so that it's not the same name as the actual short film. So the short film itself is going to be called deSire, and we're going to do a feature film off of that because we're pitching that idea to some investors. So I'm continuing to write that now. But the short film for your festival is called deSire, One Man's POV, Point of View. And so we're doing the second part, deSire, One Woman's POV, which is the POV from my co-star Heather Arndt. And then we're doing the third part, a third installment called deSire, One X's POV, which is the X, who is Sheila in the short film deSire, played by Gabrielle Lavigny. And so it's going to be an interesting ride for us over the next couple of months. That is also going to be up on streaming platforms too in about 2 or 3 months now. So we're working on it.
You basically are branching off and creating a mini franchise with this, and it all came from one film, Under Pressure, because Under Pressure, you said, is having a sequel.
Yep.
And this deleted scene is branching off. Now, is that related character-wise to the other pieces? Same
totally different characters. The funny thing with this short film called deSire, One Man's POV, I'm actually writing an episodic series that's gonna come after this short film that's specifically for the one we're submitting for your festival. So my particular character, and I don't want to give the whole surprise, but my particular character is going to continue in a 30-minute episodic series that's going to be uploaded to the streaming platforms as well. We've already talked about it at the table. We have investors looking at the idea. They really love it because the particular short that we submitted for your festival, we made it comedic. Mm-hmm. And I didn't do it on intention. I just did it because I felt like there were a couple points that we could pull some comedy out of there. But when the investors saw it, they literally loved it. And I think the selling point was, and you've seen it, I think maybe yourself, the second part of the voiceover that is done in the particular short was the winning point for the investors because they want that character to be the main character for the episodic series. And they want that character to reflect on moments in his life earlier with these particular episodes of times where him and his loved one had conflict that they had to overcome.
Wow, you're very busy.
Very busy, yes, sir.
So you are taking part in Voices Heard's first panel at the festival.
Yeah.
The panel is, what is it like being a creative of color in Wisconsin?
Yes.
That's, I think, going to be a very fascinating talk for many people to come and listen. Also, is another opportunity to network too.
Definitely. For myself, I think it'll be great because I've been in the business now about 12 years. And so I've had the opportunity to already get my feet wet, to see what goes on in the industry, how things are for people of color versus everyone. Mm-hmm. I know that filmmaking is a challenge for everyone. And I can talk a little bit about how much of a challenge it is for people of color, some of the roadblocks that we might have and how to overcome that and to remain a filmmaker for 10, 12 years like I have. So, yeah, great. We'll have a great discussion that night. Looking forward to it.
I think it's going to be a fascinating talk, and I think people are going to enjoy your film at the festival.
Yeah, I believe so. Everyone, I've only shown it to a secret group of people and our staff that worked on it. I didn't even let them see the whole thing, but just a couple parts of it, and everybody thought it was completely hilarious. There's just some moments in this thing that just kind of blow you away. So we're looking forward to having a good time.
Well, thank you so much for doing this today.
Yeah, no problem, Ross. Thank you for having me. I always look forward to speaking with you, spending some time with you, and learning from you as well. You've been in this a long time, and I appreciate everything that you do for the industry and those of us that are really trying to, make some big moves here. So thank you for your support.
Well, you're welcome.